best place for you?
Yeah, so the portal is crazy, but I think the belief that Coach B and the staff just had, with this team and the previous success that they had, and being really close to having a really special year was, really cool. I wanted to be a part of it. And you can tell with these guys in this locker room and this staff that they're really hungry and have a real belief.
What'd you see from Coach Lenny his first year here, Tommy DeVito? What'd you see from them? I'm sure you wanted to look into that.
Yeah, for sure. It was hard to watch, during the season, obviously, because I wasn't expecting to obviously be here so crazy. But during the short amount of time I was in the portal, and being on a visit for less than a day here, and growing that relationship with Coach Lenny, I believe it was his first year in the offense, and for a quarterback like Tommy, it's hard, having 1 year under a coordinator, but. It was evident, the success they had, and obviously the running back was really special. So, and Coach Lenny had a lot of success at UTSA too, and I believe I can do whatever's asked from him, and I believe this group can be really special.
One of the things that sold Tommy DeVito to come here was the ability to keep him protected. Is that something that was part of your conversation too?
Yeah, Coach B, he made that very evident that that's kind of his specialty. The history he had at Arkansas with the big guys and the people he's produced to put in the league is, speaks for itself. And I have no doubt in my mind that he'll do that, obviously. And the group that's coming back too, with Isaiah Adams and Julian Pearl and amongst some others, great players, and I have all the belief in them.
What did you look into with other positions, and what Illinois has in place with that, if anything, in making your decision?
Yeah, like I said, they won a lot of games last year, and that's for a reason. They have good players. Obviously the running back was really special, but the return and some really good receivers and tight ends who can go make plays. I've seen it with my own eyes on film, and I know I can put the ball in their hands.
Luke, the story kind of goes at the end of your Ole Miss tenure that some guys came to you, knew you were in the portal, and says we want you to stay around for bowl prep and stay around for the game. And can you kind of talk about what that meant to you to have guys want you to still be around, and what it meant to you as a leader to finish it out?
Yeah, that was a wild time and a wild transition for me, and it was a difficult decision because the portal and how crazy it is, and the timeline is so difficult to navigate. And I was skeptical, like if I was a part of the bowl game, I wouldn't fully maximize the opportunity to be able to weigh my options. But like I said, I'm a competitor, and I love my teammates, and of course I love my teammates who are still at Ole Miss now. And I felt like it was really important just to be around some of my best friends, and I enjoy playing too. That's where I find my most freedom when I'm on the field, and that's when I'm most natural as a person. And I felt like if I wasn't doing nothing, sitting at home for that time period for a few weeks, I would get in a low mental state, and I have no regrets and playing in that.
Did it mean something to you to maybe make an impact on so many guys in that locker room like you did?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Like the first question I just asked, like, I don't show up for myself. I never have, and that's why I love this game so much. Is you're able to be surrounded by guys from all over the world, all over the country, and to be in the center of all of it and have a voice in such a short amount of period of time, and to have that impact is it just provides so much purpose in my life, and I love it.
Tell me about your skill set and how you think it'll fit here in Coach Lenny's scheme.
Yeah, I think Coach Lenny will put me in many positions to be successful, whether that's obviously throwing the ball or with my legs. I believe I can get it done, and I've always found it difficult to answer like the style of play. The question, because in my mind I believe I can do what's ever asked, and I believe I believe I can do a lot of different things.
Having seen Tommy DeVito come in and have so much success, does that give you confidence in your first year being able to do similar things?
Yeah, absolutely. Tommy's a great player. Obviously he was around a lot of ball. He was an older guy, and he did some really good things with what was around him, and like I said, he had some really good players around him, and he was a good player too. And I believe with the players around me, I'll be pretty successful if I just do my job.
As far as your former teammate Nick Broker, did he say anything about Illinois? Because he's obviously from this area, and you're kind of coming back to his home.
Yeah, he's always he texts me all the time about it, and yeah, he's from around here, and I've had a lot of players in there asking me like, "Yo, when did high school? I played basketball against him," and Nick's first class, and he'll be a great player in the NFL. And he was one of the first guys who kind of took me under his wing at Ole Miss, and truly one of my first friends. And that relationship will last a lifetime. You know, I wish he would transfer up here over here for me, and you know,
Protect you a little bit.
Be here with me. Yeah.
Were you able to talk to Tommy at all? Did you talk to him at all?
Well, I was here for a day
Right.
on a visit. It was a crazy time, and I briefly, you know, shook hands with him and shared some words, but other than that, like, not much, because he was busy with the bowl game and, you know, with his decision on what he was going to do, so, you know, I didn't want to bother him or, you know, do any of that.
Look how much did
You mentioned you were here for just a day. It sounds like the portal was kind of a hectic process. Like, what did you see in that day? What was important for you to take out of that? And what did you kind of know? Like, was there anything with Coach B or Coach Lonnie that you were sold on Illinois?
Yeah, I was here for almost, for an afternoon, a morning and an afternoon, and I feel like I got, you know, everything I needed to see. You know, usually on official visits, you're here for like 2 days and a half, and you're doing a lot of different things, but you know, I was here for strictly business, and you know, I got what I got out of it with conversation with Coach B and spending a lot of time with Coach Lenny, and even with some of these players. I was here during their bowl prep, so I was able to spend a lot of time with them, and yeah, the conversations I had with Coach B and the belief that he just has in this program and where he can take it was pretty special.
how much did the potential NIL opportunities play into your decision to come to Illinois?
Not really at all. That's such a crazy question these days. You know, it's hard to answer, but like there was none of that. Like, I'm looking for a place where I can, you know, produce for a team, and you know, whatever happens will happen with that, and that had zero effect on, you know, my destination.
Luke, obviously you're entrusting the staff with, you know, a big part of your college career and your future. You talked about it briefly, but what gave you that faith and just being with them for a day, basically?
Yeah, I was looking for a home, you know, and it was a very stressful time, and obviously I was looking in some different places and looking for a home, and there was so much that went into it, but like, you know, I was just looking for a place where I felt valued, a place where they believed in me, and it was crazy. Like my first conversation with Coach B in his office were like all of those things, you know, the value he had in me, and truly the belief, and the words he used were like almost too good to be true, and but they're not. You know, I really can tell with him, and I believe this is my home. Obviously, you know, I plan to be here for a long time, you know, however long that is, and do some really great things.
What were those words? What did he tell you?
Yeah, it was just me and my family in there, and I believe that should just stay between me and him. You know what I mean? So, because it was really special. You know?
Is this the farthest north you've been? I know you're born and raised in Mississippi, but is it a little bit cold up here for you?
Yeah, I grew up in Mississippi. I was actually born in Memphis, but lived there for like a very short amount of time. And Mississippi is all I know, you know, pretty much all I know. And it gets cold down there. It's actually pretty cold there now, but this is kind of a different beast. You know, I've never been in the Midwest. Of course, I've traveled. You know, I've been to different vacation spots up north, but I've obviously never lived anywhere but Mississippi. And change it in a bad thing. You know, it'll be cool to grow in this place in so many different ways. But you know, I think it's pretty cool, honestly.
Did you have the right kind of coat when you got here, or were you like, oh God, I gotta go to the store?
I was not prepared at all. I think my mom got me a big giant jacket for Christmas, and it was, you know, I wear it like almost every day, so pretty useful.
What's your process about kind of relationship building with guys and kind of becoming a leader once you get here?
Yeah, I think that's the most difficult thing, honestly. Like, you know, like I said, I've never been in the Midwest, but like I feel like anywhere you go is different from the other, and you know, that's kind of the mindset I had, you know, going into it. It didn't really matter on destination. It's just growing relationships with, you know, so many different new people, and in such a different place. And I think just being yourself and taking things moment by moment and doing little things and little conversations here and there, and you know, it'll take time, and sometimes it takes a lot of patience. But I can already tell each day is I'm getting more and more comfortable around these people. Just whether that's being on the field or in the weight room or in the locker room, most importantly, and outside of this building and spending time with them. It'll be a process, but I can see it's going really well so far.
Going entirely off.
Coach,
Go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
you talked about Coach Bielema talking about it like a belief in the program, and that resonated with you. Like, how contagious is that when you hear him maybe so passionate about what he thinks this can become and trying to make that decision?
Yeah, it's. I mean, you should hear how the players speak of them. In the locker room. I mean, that's all they feel from him. His belief and intensity, and the will to win. And he really believes. He believes that he can do it. He's obviously done it in the past. So I think everybody in that locker room really trusts him in it. And I know in the short amount of time I've been here, I can really trust him too.
Just going off this interaction here, may not be fair. You seem like a pretty chill, even-keeled guy. How are you on the field? And how do you try to exercise leadership in a game?
Yeah, like I said, I find a lot of purpose in this game, so I really care. I'm a really passionate guy, and like I said, the more comfortable around the players I am, the more looser I am. But this is kind of how I am, on a day-to-day basis. I don't really do a whole lot, don't say a whole lot, but on the field when the juices are flowing, and when you're competing against another team, it's fun. It's a lot of fun, and like I said, I'm really passionate, so you'll see some fire and just really a lot of care for the people around me, for sure.
Look, obviously they believe you can be the guy for them. How do you go about building that rapport with teammates during spring ball, during off-season workouts?
Yeah, like I was just saying with him, I think it's just a day-to-day thing. It's not forcing anything, being really authentic and being who you are. And I think they'll see that, and whether that's on the field, throwing around with them, or in the weight room, it's just being yourself and doing the things I know I can do, and being really confident in myself and the way I play, and yeah.
From the human element, was there a conversation from mom and dad when you wanted to go in the portal, or okay, you're finally going to go away from home for school? I know Oxford's 2 hours down the road from Starkville, but was that fear? Was that excitement from you? How did you approach that element of it?
Yeah, it was obviously a really big change, and it still is, and I'm working through it, but they know I'm ready for it. I think I really matured in my 2 years at Ole Miss. Obviously, as you get older, you mature, and as you experience things, you obviously mature. And I think it's all about perspective and the way you look at it. And I see it as just such a big growth opportunity, even if it's uncomfortable, because it is. Being in a new place and somewhere I haven't been, and it's definitely difficult for them, obviously, not being able to come see me so frequently, but I think they have a good perspective on it too.
What did you learn in 2 years at Ole Miss? Just about being a quarterback?
That's it. I mean, I could write a book on it, you know what I mean, from just socially on the field, and and just in college in general. But I just I felt like I just learned so much about how much purpose and really the urgency there is to in this short amount of time period with eligibility and having an opportunity window. Obviously learned from so many great players who were older than me. I was around Matt Corral, and the competitor he was will pretty much always stick with me, and I think you'll see that carry over on the field with me. I feel like he the love he had for his guys and the way he competed was really special. But I learned so many different things. And it's definitely a different beast than high school and things like that. But I think just the urgency and opportunity window that you really have to live out your dreams is really urgent, and I want to take full advantage of it.
Can you expand on that, like the urgency? Like, what's that mean to you, and how did you kind of come to realize that?
Yeah, it was. I think my first year. I kind of was living in Matt Corral's shadow, and I was working really hard, and I was working alongside with him. But like I said, I was in his shadow, and I was like, next year I'll be this and that, and I had my opportunities. I ended up playing 5 games in that first year, and I really don't believe I was a confident player that I was in high school, and I put some limitations and let other expectations kind of weigh on me. And I just believe, like I said, there's so many different things and perspectives you can go into with the urgency of just being in college and living out your dreams, and the way it can change your life. And so I'm trying to take full advantage of it, and just grow as a person, as a player.
Growing up where you did, what was your impression of the Big Ten? I mean, you're a guy in the South. What'd you think of the Big Ten?
Yeah, I mean, it's an incredible football conference. So many great teams, and I honestly didn't know a whole lot about it because I was surrounded by the SEC for my whole entire life, and that's all I knew. And I'm still honestly learning about it, but obviously I know the teams within it and the success that this league produced, and some may say this is the best league in football. And I'm excited for the new experiences and the new atmospheres I'll be a part of, and it'll be really special.
Is there conversations with the teammate, and now a teammate, I guess, that stands out to you that with the process, just about this program? I know you said you talked to a couple of the guys during bowl prep. Is there any one or two that stands out?
They were also different, I feel like, but I was around, Isaiah Adams and Julian Pearl and Isaiah Williams and Casey Washington amongst so many others, and I was just kind of getting a feel for who those guys were, and obviously they spoke so highly of Coach B and their staff, and they were busy doing their own things too, and I mean, they were also different, and they speak highly of this program. They have a belief too, and they believe they believe in me, I believe so, and I believe in those guys too.